peace. I hope you guys are having such a glorious day. If not, do understand and get that your day, your life is going to get better once your perception gets better. Right now, I am listening to Reverend Ike. Okay, if you guys don't listen to Reverend Ike, what are we doing? All right. So Reverend Ike was an evangelist, okay, and basically he taught metaphysics. He taught that God is in you. All right, God is in the sky, by and fly, or whatever it is that he used to say this thing. But I'm listening to Reverend Ike as I'm about to eat and stuff. So today we have ramen. Let you get a better close up. So I have some ramen noodles. This is the way I like my noodles. I have American cheese in here. I have some dumplings also in here with some boiled eggs. And yeah. And so I'm gonna put some of this sriracha mayo on here. This is like some spicy dressing. I'm gonna put on here. I've been eating this. Ooh, chow. I've been eating this a few days. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about because this idea had came to my mind when I was cornrowing my hair. Tomorrow is PTA. Okay, hey Steve, PTA. So tomorrow is PTA. If you guys don't know, I joined the PTA. And the main reason I joined the PTA is definitely to get out of my comfort zone. And I wanted to also see like what the PTA was about. I know it's like parent teacher associate thing, but I wanted to get an experience. At least I can say, well, you know what? I used to be a part of the PTA. They had PTA today and they also had it tomorrow at my children's school. They doing like a Christmas bazaar, whereas though the children they could pick up their gifts, they could buy the gifts and stuff like that for someone they love. And I thought it was yesterday. I was telling my children, oh, it's yesterday. So my youngest daughter, her father had gave her like $70 for her birthday. She brought the money to school, child. Oh my goodness. So the teacher had pretty much like took the money and put the money up and stuff. And I was like, why did you take all that money to school? Well, she took 60. And I said, I thought you said you only was spending 20. So anywho, so the Christmas bazaar is actually today. It wasn't yesterday. And I was like, oh my goodness, I could do the Christmas bazaar. I could go to the PTA, help them out and stuff like that. So that's my plans to do tomorrow. Now, I was in the mirror, okay? Hey, gang dog. Hey, Eric Johnson. I was in a mirror. Good morning. I was in a mirror and I was doing the cornrows, right? Maybe the TV is okay. I was in a mirror and I was doing cornrows. So I told you guys that I had went to a I graduated from a community college. I have an associate's degree in criminal justice. I don't even use it. Okay. I don't even use it. Then later on, I had went back to school at a 4-year college, not a community college, but a university. And if you from New Jersey, okay, I went to NJCU and I went there for psychology, okay, because then I was like, oh, I'm gonna become a therapist or whatever it is. And then everything that we tend to go through in life, it all has meaning. Please hear me when I say this. It all has meaning. It may appear to be bad. It may appear that things not working in your life. It may appear that your life is just horrible, right? It may appear that way, but I could assure you things in your life is coming together for the greater good. But one of the reasons why your life is the way it is and going in the direction it's going in, maybe you say is horrible, is because of this. You keep giving energy to that thing that you say that you don't want to show up. Okay. Like my oldest son, he had called me and my children, I like to say we close, like especially my oldest son. My oldest daughter, I'm close to her too, and my youngest children too. But my oldest son, he tells me, I want to say both of my oldest children tell me like a lot of some of the stuff that they got going on in their lives. And to have that, I mean, it means a lot to me, right? When they tell you like stuff that's going on. So my oldest son, I told you guys, he became a truck driver. Okay, now he's on Dollar Tree account. He delivered for Dollar Tree. Who knew, right? Like full circle. I was talking to the store manager at this Dollar Tree that I go to that's by my house, and I was telling him, and he was like, "Oh my goodness, like who knew, right?" So, anywho, so my oldest son, he's driving for Dollar Tree. He worked like 3 days out of the week and or 4 days. Okay. So he was telling me like about the boxes and stuff. Like there is like a lot of boxes. And one of the things that I told him, I said, you gotta look for the good things that's in there. Okay. Like you get a paycheck every week. Okay. The money is paid, you get paid very well. You have a bed in the truck because the truck drive the bed in the truck, you have your TV and everything like that. You gotta look for the good things in life. I'm not saying that things don't occur in life, but you definitely have to look for the good things. And as long as you are constantly talking about the bad things that's going on in your life, even though, I mean, it may be some bad things that's going on. Listen, life happens to all of us. Nobody is exempt, okay? I'm not exempt because I do, some read. And by the way, you guys can get this book. This is the Prosperity Bible. Okay. It has so many different authors in here. It talks about metaphysics. It talks about the mind. The same thing with Reverend Ike, with Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar, he used to talk a little bit. Well, he taught, he ain't really touched too much, I don't think, about the laws of the universe. But this book is really, really good. Authors in here like James Allen, Florence Shen, who else? Charles Hannell. Um, There's so many different authors in here. Those are the three that I can think of. Napoleon Hill. It has a lot of authors in here. So if you are a person that is looking to read, right, to change your perspective, because that's really what life is all according to your perspective on life. And if you're a person that's looking to change your perspective, you may want to get this book. Now, this book, if you go on in my bio, on my YouTube, okay, you can get this book from off of Amazon. I do receive a percentage, okay, but when I tell you, you will definitely start changing your perspective on life, because life isn't just happening to you. Life happens to all of us. And no matter how many books I read, no matter how many meditations I do, I still experience life. Okay. I mean, as long as you are in the human form, you have a body, you are going to experience the trials and tribulations of life. But I wanted to come on here because of this. Okay. So I was, and this is why I brought up about me going to college. Okay. So I was in this class, and this class, it was, I think she was a therapist. Okay. Was she a therapist or a social worker? But I think she was like a social worker. And then she had like other accolades and stuff like this, the professor. So she was really good. I liked her, but her teaching sometimes, whatever. But anywho, so I was in the class, and I remember the conversation came up about anxiety, right? Honey, I don't want my food to get cold. So 1 second, okay. This is so good. Oh my goodness. I've been eating this. This is so good. It has American cheese in here. If you making ramen and you put cheese in your ramen, the best cheese is the American cheese. Honey, I'm not even arguing with you. So this professor, right? The Olap, Listen, the best Olap is the grape. Okay, the grape and the cream. I know it's some people that don't like cream soda, but I grew up. My mother, she absolutely loved cream soda. So I like cream soda. All right, but these are so good. Whew. This one is the lemon lime. These sodas, they are so good. Okay, probiotic. They good for the digestive system. They good. So getting back to what I was saying. Oh, the best cheese in here. I don't know if I finished it. The best cheese in here is the American cheese. I think I said that already. But anywho, so the professor, okay, I remember the conversation came up around anxiety, right? Because I'm going to school. I'm at this 4 year university college and I'm going to school for psychology. And a conversation came up about mental health, right? About anxiety. And one of the things she said that she has patients and stuff like that that she could like she basically talked to. I think she was she a therapist? I think so. But anyway, but she said she has patients that she talked to, and she helped them figure out certain things, or basically she listens to whatever it is that they got going on in their lives. So I remember she was like that if she had like the patients that she have, if they have anxiety, she can't bring them to the park. She was like, but that's something that she would do. She would want to bring them to the park. Because let me tell you something about anxiety. Okay, now I'm not a doctor or anything like that, and I'm just telling you guys from based upon what I've seen, okay, and things that occurred in my life. You are going to have to face whatever it is that you got going on in your life, and most of the times, while we may experience anxiety, is because we think that things are not going to work out in our favor, right? We give this illusion of the problem. We think that it is bigger than us, which is not. There's nothing that is bigger than us, okay, except for what we think is. The next thing is this: as long as you ignorant, and this is the reason why because I was like, oh my goodness, let me start reading back again. Okay, this is the reason why I read these books. Okay, because sometimes you may forget. We've been programmed for so long that oftentimes you can look at life and you can think that your life is just horrible. I am here to tell you your life isn't horrible. It's your thinking that makes it appear to be horrible. Let me say that again. Your life isn't horrible. It is your thinking that makes it appear that your life is horrible. But your life isn't horrible. Life happens to all of us. The same exact thing that you're going through, somebody else went through that. And how is they able to get through that? Is because they looked at whatever it is that have shown up in their life and they said, you know what? Something good is bound to come from this. And they believed it. They believed it. They knew from experience that every time an obstacle came, it presented a big opportunity for them, for their life to become better. Okay. It's all according to what you tell yourself. So, all right. So in this class, it was this young lady. And she was really, really smart. I mean, like she was reading this book. It was like a psychology book. She was reading this book, and I mean, that book had some big words in it, okay? And she was reading a book and the words, I was like, oh my goodness, you know. And I remember she had came over to my house to study because we had, finals coming up. She had came to my house to study with me. And I remember, well, to help me study. And I remember, the day, and she experienced anxiety. And it was a few other things that, she had experienced in life. And I remember the day of the finals came. Okay. And to take the test. And the professor had left out from the classroom. And I remember I asked the girl, I was asking her something about the test. And she said real loud, okay. And I guess like maybe this was like one of her episodes where so she was experiencing anxiety or a panic attack. I don't know. But she said real loud to me. Now I drove this girl back home, like when she did come to help me study, but I drove her home and stuff like that. And I thought we was pretty cool, right? If I see her today, she'll say what's up. In fact, I seen her a few years ago, way after I stopped going to, the college. And she was like, hey. And at first I couldn't really, put face to picture, face to name. And then I said, oh, okay. She said real loud, okay, because I asked her something about the test. And she was like, you didn't study? Honey, I was embarrassed, okay? I was embarrassed, okay? She done told the damn whole classroom, okay? Instead of her using her indoor voice, she was so loud and was like, you didn't study. Oh my goodness. I said, oh my goodness, what the hell? Okay, I said I shouldn't even have answered that. But if I would have known that she was going to do that, I sure as hell would not have asked her, okay? Because she was so loud and everybody in the classroom heard her and looked, okay? Thank goodness the professor had stepped out of the class or whatever. I said, damn, no cheating with you. Okay, all right. No getting the answers from you, honey. Oh my goodness. I had another, let me tell you. So I was in, now this was when I was in the community college, okay? It was this guy, and this was when I was taking metaphysics. I did not care for metaphysics. They would talk about Sir Isaac Newton and all the different things, math and all this other stuff. Chill. Oh Lordy. Because I didn't understand it really. And I had this one guy, he was really good in his class, like really, really good. And again, we was about to take a test. And no, it was something else. I don't think it was the test, because he probably would have been loud too. But he said, I asked him something and he was like, they have this. He said to me, he said, they have this on channel 13, right? What? Okay. He was like, they teach this on channel 13. Oh, Lordy. Now, when it came to school, I was all for it. When it came to the debating, when it came to me asking the professor questions and stuff like that, like I was the type that I like having like a intellectual conversation, right? As opposed to just working. I learn best from storytelling. Okay. But I wanted to share that with you guys. So let me tell you something. Whatever it is, and that memory had came up as I was, cornrowing my hair. Whatever it is that's showing up in your life, I want you to understand that you got this and your life is getting better. Okay. Stop telling people, okay, what's going on in your life, because that's why it keeps on occurring. I'm not saying not to talk about whatever it is, but as long as you keep on saying and talking about it, your life is this way. Oh, all the bad things that's occurring. And you keep on, you tell one person, then you go and tell this person, you go and tell you tell all these different people. And what I realized in my life is the people that we tend to talk about our quote unquote problems, they don't have the solution anyway. In many cases, the people that we talk about our problems to, sometimes these same exact people can't get themselves at a paper bag. Okay, they can't get themselves at a paper bag, and as long as you constantly and telling them, oh well, this is going on. And what I also come to realize is this: a lot of times people They don't want the solution to whatever it is that they got going on in their lives. They want the attention from the solution. You know, you could have a friend and that friend keep telling you about the things that's going on in their life. And you can say, oh, well, you know what? That occurred to me. And let me tell you what I did. And the first thing, or oftentimes they'll say, oh, but that ain't going to work. So what was the purpose of you telling me this old dreary story? What was the purpose of you telling me this dreary do dirty story? Okay, what was the purpose of that? You know, because they don't necessarily want the solution. They want the attention from the problem. They want you to give them attention. And oftentimes, sometimes they want you to be on their side. You know, instead of them to be able to think for themselves, they want you to agree with them. They already made up their mind in most cases, but they want you to agree with them. Okay. And, you know, that's just the way it is. Well, with that being said, I have videos I have to edit. I got to eat my good old ramen, and I catch you guys on the next one. Keep rocking out, believe it in yourselves. Make sure you guys hype the videos up, comment, subscribe, share. Okay, share these good videos. Okay, until the next time. Peace.